Hello Internet, Gino, aka That Pinguino, here again with another deep look. This time I'm going to be taking a look at Bioshock, and specifically I'm going to be focusing on the architecture in Bioshock. That might be something you didn't necessarily think of at first, but the walls of Rapture really do a ton of work in kind of expressing Andrew Ryan's philosophies, the different philosophies that govern the city. And so I'm going to go ahead and take a look at some of those things. So the first thing we see here, one of the most iconic shots in the entire game, the lighthouse that you come across after the crash, silhouetted against the moon. And we can see at the top of the lighthouse is a statue of a man. Either it's Atlas holding up that light, or it's a person in a state of rapture. Now, of course, the name of the city, Rapture, has dual meaning. It both means the absolute height of pleasure, and also the biblical rapture, the end of the world. And it's a nice, interesting contradiction built right into the name of the city, that a city founded on atheism and on raw capitalism as its governing philosophy would have something like, here, again on the wall, someone in a state of rapture, ascending into heaven. Now, oddly enough, some would say that the capitalism espoused by Andrew Ryan is itself a religion. No gods or kings, only man. So, in denying people, in what country is there a place for people like me? In denying people organized religion, Andrew Ryan kind of substitutes capitalism, his capitalist goals, his objectivist goals, in as a substitute religion, a different kind of religion. And Rapture, the city of Rapture, descending deep into the ocean, is his version of kind of the biblical rapture. Instead of ascending into heaven, you descend into the bottom of the ocean, where there's capitalist paradise. And we can see on the walls here some of the founding principles of the city. We have art, science, and industry. And it's interesting here that the symbol they use for industry is actually two people shaking hands. When you think of industry, it could have very easily looked like science, some giant building, some giant factory, but instead Andrew Ryan uses industry as more of a symbol of cooperation between human beings instead of pure competition. And here in the bathysphere we can see the great chain of industry. Again, industry is one of the main guiding principles of the city. That great chain is going to be one of the big recurring themes. So I'm going to jump ahead a little bit because I don't want to see the entire 2-3 minute cutscene of going down in the bathysphere. I've gone ahead and cleared out some splicers so that they're not quite as disruptive, though I will encounter some, I'm sure. And we can see, once you step out of the bathysphere into Rapture, more of these figures on the walls, either atlases or people in a state of rapture ascending. I like to think that they're atlases, these ones on the walls, literally holding up the very buildings in Rapture, holding up the city. And it's interesting that those figures are very human looking. Atlas himself was a Titan, the Greek figure. So having them be human, I think, emphasizes that gigantic symbol of Andrew Ryan that you see as you walk into the city. No gods, no kings, only man. And it's men that hold up the city. Now, gender politics here. Notice there's no women holding up any of the walls. All men, literally. If we look over here, we see Welcome to Rapture, Opportunity Awaits. Notice it doesn't say happiness awaits or equality awaits. Opportunity. If you follow Rapture's protocols, you might have a nice life. You might be able to afford some of these fancy things. You might be one of the people that the great chain of industry ties and unites. You might be one of the people who can pick your plasmid and evolve. And just like all of religion is banned in Rapture, and capitalism kind of takes the place of religion. All this propaganda dotting all the walls, the plasmids, open plasmids, plasmids by Ryan Industry, light them up. All of these plasmids that they show kind of take the place of traditional spiritual fulfillment. Instead of praying or doing some sort of charity work to feel superior and grow spiritually, in Rapture, pick your plasmid and evolve. You buy a product like this plasmid, this electro ball, and you will literally ascend beyond humanity. You will become something more than human. Now, the capitalist idea of buying things for self-fulfillment and for a sense of self-worth, that purchasing objects is how you gain self-worth, it makes sense that in a city like Rapture, it takes that concept and raises it up to the next level, that you literally grow beyond humanity by purchasing things. Floor show every night. Cigarettes. Of course, you can buy cigarettes. You can't buy a Bible, but you can buy cigarettes. I'm going to go ahead and jump past when I get the kick from a mule and get the electro bolt power, because that's another long cut scene. I actually jumped a little bit further ahead. I want to show this over here in the corner. So, up until now I'm talking... Oh, well, now I've got a splicer to deal with. The 1-2 punch. Yep. Where are you? Is that... Whack. I've been talking about mostly stuff on the walls, stuff like that, but in here there's another little detail. It's not strictly architecture, but it's something that really got me the first time. This dead cat in the corner. It's not a stuffed animal because it bleeds, but the first time I played the demo, the first time I played this game, as a cat owner, that really shook me, that they would go and add that extra little bit of detail, that it wasn't just the people who lost out when Rapture fell, that everything in the city, every single man, woman, and child, and even the pets, suffered. And it's those little details that I think make this game so compelling. Sorry, Splicer.
Tell Ryan I'm sorry. I won't do it again.
Man, this whole thing is well scripted.
I can control myself. I can. Come on. I just want to.
This one, 1-2 punch. And in this hallway, we can see some other nice pieces of architecture. These banners: creativity, independence, commerce, ascendancy, liberty, and ascendancy. All of them are ostensibly values of the city, but it's interesting that ascendancy is the only banner that's repeated. All these other values, commerce, independence, creativity, all of them are subservient to ascendancy. They're means to an end, and ascendancy is the central goal. And by the time the city falls, it's very clear that the ticket to ascendancy is shooting yourself up with plasmids and literally becoming something greater than human. Not quite the industrial revolution that Andrew Ryan might have wanted, but it's certainly the most extreme representation of where his ideals lead. Over here, we see the Great Chain is guided by our hands. Now, it's, again, interesting that it's not religion that binds people in this city, it's industry. And so this Great Chain that, again, the chain symbol, dual meaning there. Chain binds people together, ties people together, also enslaves people. So industry, again, kind of serving a dual function. On the positive side, it ties all the citizens of Rapture together. On the negative side, it enslaves some of them. It enslaves most of them. And throughout the game, you kind of find to what extent the people of Rapture are enslaved and tied down. Hey, buddy. Sorry.
What are you doing? Charlie, where you going? No,
is she? Now over here, we have another atlas. This one's a little more literal, but again, notice that it's a human. Rolled up sleeves for working. Beard. This is a working class person holding up the world. And one last bit over here. Cool little detail. All of the toilets in Rapture have tokens. You need to pay to even take a poop in Rapture. Which it's fitting that everything in here is for a cost. And these are just some of the little architectural details that really lend a ton of the power and weight to the city. You don't even need to listen to an audio log to know where Rapture comes from. And all of it's thanks to just looking at the walls, looking at the symbols, and unpacking them a little bit. Seeing that everywhere you go, there's nothing but atlases and great chains and propaganda everywhere. It's really an outstanding job of making a sense of place. And so I hope you enjoyed this. There's plenty more to go on. This is just the opening level. Every level, since they're kind of controlled by different egomaniacs, show other kind of problematic side effects of Andrew Ryan's incredibly laissez-faire capitalism. I'll leave you with this horrifying image. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, let me know. Thanks very much for watching. Peace.